Guys, so you know who I am. As Grant was gracious enough to introduce me, I'm Christopher Tews. I'm the Executive VP of AMA. And I wanted to go over sort of MailChimp, which is an online website that we have an account with that helps out with creating marketing campaigns online. By marketing campaigns, I mean they help us set up sort of sending out emails to different audiences who are interested, maybe even creating different surveys that you can send out to people, a lot of different things that they'll go over. So with AMA, we are trying different stuff over the summer, seeing if everyone's we're trying to keep some flow going when it comes to interaction with our members. So over the summer, we're doing a couple different socials. I think we started last week with one, and next week we're going to be doing a social at this time on Thursday, the 28th. We're going to be doing a murder trivia party. And part of this presentation is sort of an interactive, moderately interactive creation of the email that we're going to be sending out to everybody. So it's going to show off MailChimp, sort of do a small showcase, and we're going to go over that. So what is MailChimp? I sort of already went over that one. Why we should care. It's really big for us as marketing students because they have actually a free option that can send out if you have sort of a group like us who needs to be able to keep in contact with an audience, or if you yourself have your own sort of small company or anything like that. It's really helpful in keeping people up to date with landing pages, so they're able to check you out there and then sort of jump from page to page to, like I already mentioned, marketing campaigns. So it's really nice in keeping contact with everybody. Now they also have competitors. So I don't want to say that MailChimp is the de facto one you want to go to. I've personally used Constant Contact before. I've heard of Sendinblue and iContact before. These are just three that I'm aware of. I have a little bit of experience with Constant Contact. When it comes to Constant Contact, sort of the cool thing that they offer are actually donations. They have a plugin for it. So if you have sort of your own, can't think of what that donation website, GoFundMe account, anything like that, they actually have plugins for it that you can attach to emails so people can be linked directly to there, or they can actually pay like through PayPal in the email, which is pretty neat. Sendinblue has a lot of different payment options and offers when it comes to subscriptions. So they have a lot of different features that they allow, and I believe in the free feature is also is also the landing page. Also, I know. I'll get into iContact. I've never used it, but from what I looked on researching, I know they're $14 a month for only 500 contacts, but they're actually used by a lot of small businesses. So I'm not really sure exactly why small businesses go to iContact, but is definitely one of the competitors that was on there when I was looking up a couple different email marketing groups. Are there any competitors that you guys may have heard of by chance that aren't on one of these four that I've already mentioned? Yes, no, maybe so. Cool.
No.
No worries. It's again, the only reason that I know about Constant Contact is because I used to work a job that used it. And when it comes to MailChimp, it's because I'm here at AMA. So I'm not, like I mentioned, Sendinblue and iContact, I myself don't even have experience using. I'm just aware of them because I looked it up. So there's just something that you want to keep in mind, because these things are really helpful, and they're really there to keep you in contact with your audience. By the way, if you guys have any questions, I know I talk fast. I know I keep moving and I stumble over my words sometimes. Please cut me off. Do what you want. I take no offense to it. I talk enough for everybody in this call. Pricing, pricing plans. I know it's crazy. You look at this premium one, you're like, wow, that's $300 a month. That's insane. $300 a month also keeps you contacted with more than 200,000 people. That's like crazy. I don't even, other than like a McDonald's restaurant, thinking of a small organization that has over 200,000 contacts is pretty insane. But they offer a lot there. With the standard is typical business, something that might be regional, anything like that. They do have the option there as well. Essential is a simpler one, more for A/B testing, sort of jumping between simple emails to different audience members. Maybe you have, maybe you split them up between the masses somehow. That's a decent one. And of course, free is something that us as students use, where it gives you the basics. It keeps you at a maximum of 2,000 contacts. But, with RSOs and with all the events going on campus, if you're above 2,000 contacts, then you could definitely afford the essentials plan of $10 a month. But it's nice to have the options. And if you guys would like, after the presentation, I can go on MailChimp's website and actually go through. They have this graph that is it shows you, it's one of those stereotypical graphs of payment plan options where it shows you like what's included in premium and standard essentials. If you like, we can go over those. But the key that I think is important is the amount of context you can hold on to, from premium being over 200,000 to free being a maximum of 2,000. So it's really nice that they have that. Hi, is it Callie who joined?
Yeah, hi.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Doing well. Thank you for asking. And this is part where the presentation actually stops for a second. I wanted to make this moderately interactive with MailChimp. What I was going to do, or what I plan on doing, is take us over to MailChimp where we can create sort of our own campaign for next week's social for AMA. If anything, I'll walk you through it. If you guys don't like the way it looks, that's fine. I have the arts and crafts skills of like a fourth grader, so when it comes to like making things look pretty, I'm not the one for it. But I can at least, get the job done. On MailChimp's actual website, when you have an account, they have the campaigns tab where you can go through all of your previous campaigns, look through, what you've created in the past, what you've sent out, who you've sent it to. They also have a couple reports and what you can look at when it comes to your click-through rates. They also have an audience tab, and the audience tab is super important because if you have, like I mentioned, a lot of different people who are there for us, it's subscribers to members to paying members to just people who have shown interest or given us their emails. So we split them up. We have them all put in there. So in that way, if one email is specifically for members only, you're able to then create that marketing campaign only for them, and vice versa. You can mix and match however you want to. And it's really nice that MailChimp offers that. So the reports I'm actually going to go over with after we make sort of the mock email. The reason I'm doing that is just because I want to talk about click-through rates for a little bit, and that'll be going back to the slides. So with campaign-wise, I wanted to create a campaign for, granted, I was making a draft earlier. Was I muted there for a second?
Yeah, it said you were muted.
Grant, you're also, I'll ask to unmute you.
My bad. I accidentally clicked the wrong button for a second. My bad.
Okay. I was like, oh man, I don't know if they can hear me. I did already create sort of one just to make sure I knew what I was doing, just in case there were any questions and stuff. But we're going to go into create a campaign, and there's a lot of options it gives, like email, the ads. Like I mentioned, you can have a landing page where people can come and check out what you're offering. And one of the newer things they've added are actually surveys and social posts. So you can actually manage and make a calendar of everything you want with social posts and a survey of, if you have to test anything with anybody, see what they're interested in. They have a survey option also, which is really neat for MailChimp. And I know a lot of the other ones have that as well, but it's cool that they finally introduced it into their campaign. So we're going to go into emails. And it's just really simple one. We're going to do a campaign name. Again, what do you really call this thing? We're going to have an event where it's called Murder Trivia Party. So it's really, trying to make that nice would be giving it a date of 5/28 and social afterwards. Maybe we'll type in murder trivia somewhere else. It's purely just for testing it out, and you do begin. Bring it here. It's who are you sending this campaign to? As I mentioned, we have a lot of audiences, and it's important to have this. So we have AMA UCF subscribers. We even have people who from Spring were interested in us and stuff. So we're going to the UCF subscribers, and then the specific ones. This is sort of, we have subscribe like a segment within the audience. And this could be people who are actually subscribed to us or who are paying members that we've split up to anything like that. But I'm going to keep it, I think, to just general AMA subscribers. I believe, Grant, that would be the appropriate people we would want to send this to. And a cool thing that MailChimp offers is personalizing a to field. I know I'm jumping a lot. There's a lot of information. I'm just flying through this stuff. Please cut me off if you have any questions at any point. I have no problem with that. But not to get too technical on this, the cool thing about a to field, if you type in to and you type in this thing, F name, last name, first or last, whenever you type that into the email, it'll say, hey, Tamara, thanks for checking us out on the email. Thanks for showing up. So it's really neat because if we have you with your name and stuff on the audience list, it'll actually pick out your name and then it'll automatically associate it with sending it to you, which is a really neat feature that it offers. So when we're doing a general email, something that has to do with an event going on, I don't typically do to a person. I would send a to or a to a person or a merge tag. I would send it as a thank you to being like, hey, thanks for showing up to an event, or hey, we saw you here, it was great, or hey, we missed you, hope you could show up next time. I think it's more personalized that way rather than sending them every email. But that's a personal preference. Again, depends on how it goes, depends on who's clicking it, which is where the click-through rates come through, and that's something that you can test at the end, and I'll go over that. So we're gonna save the information I put in there. We have the subject. What's the subject line? This is the fun part where we get to say murder trivia. So it is gonna be don't miss our social event co-hosted by FMA. Which grants FMA is the finance. Is it finance?
Yep, Financial Management Association.
The Financial Management Association. Yeah, so they're going to be actually helping us out in co-hosting the social. You'll be able to meet some of their members there as well. And then I get to type in Murder Trivia. Murder Trivia Party, I believe is the name of it. Which I realize now saying it so many times makes it sound creepy. Murder Trivia Party is a game that you can actually play in this series of games called Jackbox, where you can get people to either sign on their phones or sign on their computers. One person shows their screen, and then you're all able to play together. It's a trivia game with the theme of trying to escape a haunted house. So that's about the fun of it. It is actually pretty decent. The trivia is completely randomized and very tough. It's meant to make people lose. So when you're done with the subject line, when you're happy with it, you want to save it. Now you go into your content, and this is a big part of, this is actually the biggest part of the marketing campaign, is finding a way to create your email for everybody. They have a lot of different sections in here. You can even go through some themes that they've personally created. We have saved templates where AMA has made templates for different stuff. And you can go through previous campaigns as well. Not to show you too much of what AMA does, but we do have all of those there. But we're going to create a brand new one. Let's say we want to. So we hit the one column because we're talking about one event that's going on. And it's going to load for a second while I think about what to say next. So we have, what's really neat here is that MailChimp automatically has it where it saves AMA as our logo on top of any of the emails we make. It's really neat. It's helpful, so that way you don't have to go into your files every time and apply it. Granted, if you wanted to get rid of it, there's a little trash box right here. You can get rid of it too if you didn't want it for some reason, but it works out for it. Time to design your email. It's really simple. You click on this little, I'm pointing on my screen, you can't see it. You click on this little box, and then it gives you literally the text box that are right here. Now, what would we say for this one? If I remember correctly, hey, don't miss out on our social event coming up on May 28th, right? We're the month of May. Yeah, it's tough nowadays. You know, it's not easy. I don't, sometimes you forget what day it is. So on 28th, and then we'll just, of course, I want to clarify that I'm making this up sort of on the spot. I have the general idea of what I want to say for it, but just to clarify, I'm definitely going to be editing this after this presentation to make sure it looks like an actual email we'll send. Not to say it's going to be bad. I want this to look as best as possible. That way I have to do less editing. But in case I mess up any wording or it's things that I have to include, like social media, contacts, anything like that, we're going to get into it. But now, so you want to get rid of the basic stuff right here. We're having murder trivia nights. And you can even change the font size, or at least change how you want things to look. You can make it italicized, make it bold, however you want with stuff like this, which is really neat when it comes to the editing. I'll make that look nicer later. Come join AMA and FMA for a co-hosted social event on Zoom. And, very small, very simple, add some graphics afterwards. But we do want to link them. A big part of making an email is making sure they have access to where you want to go. So luckily, what's this thing called? MailChimp. That's what they're called. MailChimp offers a couple different options when it comes to linking. You can just typically send in a link and just type it in, www.google.com. That's definitely not the link to where they need to go, but you can do that if you'd like. You can even type in some words and then hit a link button where it'll actually change the text into it. I personally like adding buttons. They're a little bit different. What you can do, we'll save and close that. What you can do is you can do a button right here and you drag and drop whatever you want to edit. I know, again, I'm flying through this stuff. There's so many different stuff to go over with MailChimp. I don't want to bore you on it. I don't want to be like, well, here's, this one list of steps. Here's the second list of steps. I just want to show you sort of the basics of what you can do when you're first learning how to do MailChimp. But you can go right into this button, adjust the button text, say click here to register. If we're taking registrations, you could do click here to join if you send one the day of that it's happening. Anything like that, you can always adjust it. And then you can have the actual link, which is either a web address. You can even send it out for emails. If you say, hey, email us here, you have an email address, anchor links, anything like that. It's really nice. You can even attach files. So if you're just like, hey, we typed up a really cool script for an elevator pitch. Check it out. It's basics. It's like an ad lib, but with your name on it. That'd be cool. So, you can have different options of what to make there, which is really cool. And that's, I think, what I just wanted to show when it comes to it. Again, I'm definitely adjusting most of this. I don't want to go through all of it with you guys right here and now, but I did at least want to show you that the style and everything can change. You can change the way the page looks. There's a lot of information they have. You can even add comments if there's anything you want to add to this. Like in my stance, I would say definitely come back to this. Make sure that I know for a fact that I need to be here. But it's good to have that. And then when you're done with it, you continue. And because you've sent it to, or you plan on sending it to the correct audience, it's from us or from yourself if you're making something, you have the subject and your content, you should be able to then send it right over here. Granted, I'm not doing that. I'm going to hit finish later, but the option is there. So yeah, that is what I had there for at least interactive-wise. Are there any questions as of now before I move on to sort of reports and click-through rates? Nice. Okay, I'll take the 3 seconds of solid silence as a no, unless someone typed in something in chat and I can't see it. But let me get back to the presentation. Now, what am I? Sorry about that. I'm actually going back to MailChimp's reports. So the reports is cool because you can see, like I mentioned before, your click-through rates, your opens, how many people have seen what you've sent. It's really nice in looking at those numbers. And I know what everyone always thinks is, well, if your click is, like 11.8% opening and people are barely clicking on it, it's tough nowadays when it comes to sending out emails. And to be fair, with the stats that I've seen and looked up, in 2010, average click-through rate of someone actually clicking an email was 3.56%. As of 2017, it increased to 7%. So the good thing with us is we're having about 11 to 13% of our members who are opening the emails and fully reading them to understand what's going on. And I think that really matters when it comes to click-through rates and making sure that your emails reach out to people. But the stats is also or the reports and stats area is also really good when it comes to testing out what works. Maybe sometimes people prefer the personalized messages to say to, whatever your name, to Sophie, thanks for stopping by. Anything like that. So it's always a trial and error with a lot of these websites. I know Constant Contact is the same idea. They show you who's opened it and who's done what. I'm sure the others also offer the stats. There'd be no reason not to. But you can always adjust what you want. So it's really a lot of trial and error until you find out what your target audience prefers and what they want to do. From there, I am pretty much, like I said, we're flying through this one. Want to make it real simple for everybody. Didn't want to hold you up for dinner. Hopefully, if you were smart, you had dinner beforehand. But, who knows? We are having the Trivia Murder Party coming up on next Thursday on May 28th at 6 p.m. And I do hope to see you all there. I hope you have enjoyed this, and we'll at least show up for the social where we'll be not having me talk as much, and we'll be able to answer questions together and probably get them all wrong. So thanks for stopping by, guys.
We'll also have the social link, or if you check out our social media, we're AMA UCF on Facebook and Instagram. We'll also be putting the link for the Trivia Murder Party if you're interested in that as well. Another cool thing with MailChimp, just during one of my internships in the past, is like you can actually look at specific people and how they're interacting with your different email accounts. So let's say you have someone who hasn't really opened any of your emails like in the past 5 months, but he's still subscribed. You could probably manually then like look at it on Excel and see like it has like a 1 to 5 star rating pretty much, where like 5's most engaged, 1 is 0. If they have like a 1-star rating, you could probably like kick them off and save yourself some more money that way when you're like doing your whole email campaigns, which is another cool thing also.
No, yeah, thanks for adding it. So it's good to know. I think a big reason that we choose MailChimp above a lot of the others is the others start off with a subscription base, and MailChimp gives a lot of options at zero price. And that's great for students who are maybe starting their own small business, or they're trying to keep in contact with anybody for any reason, like RSOs. MailChimp is great just because it's cheaper, and they offer a lot because it's cheap. Which is really nice. It's sort of the opposite of what you expect of being $0, but they're just like, yeah, use the information. If don't go to our competitors, use us. If you like it enough, when you hit over 2,000 people, you'll upgrade. And I think that's a really neat motto, is giving everybody the tools that they need to start off, and then you can work from there.